I'm Zenobia Washington, and welcome to Low Country Lifestyles. October is Criminal Domestic Violence Month. So my guests in the studio today are Miss Alicia Barnes. She is the board chair of the Family Justice Center here in Georgetown, and also Mr. Dick Clute. He is an advisor to the board, and he's also the chairman of this year's Taste of Georgetown, which is a fundraiser that the Family Justice Center has to raise money and awareness to support the wonderful work that they do for Georgetown. So thank you so much to the both of you for coming, and we're going to talk about the Family Justice Center first, because I think that everybody knows about it, but there may be some people out there who don't know what and where the Family Justice Center is. So let's talk about that first. First of all, tell people where the Family Justice Center is located and kind of what you do.
The Family Justice Center is at 1530 High Market Street. It's sort of between Piggly Wiggly and First Citizens Bank. It was formerly the Crosby Medical Building, and it is a very safe, secure location for anyone who is experiencing any kind of family violence of any kind. Once you enter the door and you get inside the main part of the building, it's a very secure location, bulletproof, and a very safe place to be. It's taken us 4 years to get to such a safe facility, and we're very proud that we've been able to renovate Dr. Crosby's medical building and get it up to speed and functioning.
I know that Dr. Crosby was wonderful through this whole process and made it very easy for you all to get this project up and going. I was actually amazed about how fast you all were able to get it up and going, because you think about all the changes that needed to be done to that building, to have bulletproof glass all over the place, to have doors that lock as people go in, so that people can feel really safe when they enter the building. So kudos to Dr. Crosby for all of his help, and kudos to you guys for all of the work that you all have done so far. I want to talk about the difference in the design of the Family Justice Center and that building. Oftentimes when people are trying to leave violent situations, they run into so many obstacles. You think about somebody trying to get their children, perhaps, their pets, perhaps, the few belongings that they can get, and having to move from place to place to get help from different resources and different services. But the Family Justice Center is kind of equipped so that they don't have to do that, do they, Dick?
That's right. It's really one central facility that an individual can go to that's experiencing problems with as a victim of domestic violence. And what they do is they have different agencies that can come in to serve these people. So rather than going from agency to agency to get that kind of help, what they do is just stop at that one location, and we bring in the partners that we need to provide the services the individual needs.
So tell everybody some of the partners that you all work with.
Well, we work with law enforcement, and we have the great prices. We have mental health. We have all the agencies that people need. The Family Justice Center has all the services except for the shelter.
I gotcha. And that's a part of CASA. Is that not right? So,
right.
And CASA works with you guys as well, too, right?
We're referring to CASA.
I gotcha.
Yeah, we refer to CASA when any of our clients need shelter.
Right.
The whole idea behind the Family Justice Center, besides being an all-in-one center, is that we are interested in what happens in the long term with the family, because instead of just putting out the fire and being an immediate stopgap measure and to arrange for the counseling and the other services that they need, we're going to be looking at a long-term situation where we are going to help families who are in crisis to get to all the resources that they need to get on the path to independence and to break the cycle of domestic violence.
Absolutely.
So.
I think that so many times people don't realize how difficult it is to leave a situation. Not only are you having to move from one place to another to get the services that you need, but you're also leaving yourself open and vulnerable to that person that may have been abusing you. He can see your car, he can know where you're going, and it makes it difficult for you to successfully leave that situation. So when we come back, we're going to talk about the Taste of Georgetown and just a little bit more about the Family Justice Center. So stay tuned, and we're going to come right back. We are back with Low Country Lifestyles. I am here with Miss Alicia Barnes and Mr. Dick Clute to talk about the Taste of Georgetown. But before we move on to the actual event, there are certain things, there's some statistics that I want to give people just to let them know how serious criminal domestic violence is in this area. In South Carolina now is 6th in the nation in terms of women who are killed by an intimate partner, and that's better than we were a couple of years ago. But that's still a really serious statistics. And also, if people could realize that 3 to 10 million children witness domestic violence on a yearly basis. So every year, millions of children witness domestic violence. And so that's why it's important to have a place like the Family Justice Center in place so that when people get into situations like this, they can get out safely. So Alicia, talk to us about how the Family Justice Center model works to help people successfully get out and stay out.
Yes, well, beyond just being an immediate crisis intervention agency, the Family Justice Center wants to become and reinforce the idea that we want to help break the cycle of violence so that when people, before there's a crisis situation, if someone is aware that their relationship is building in areas where there is intimate partner violence and they're starting to see controlling behaviors and they don't know how to get out of a bad relationship. So what they can do is, at the Family Justice Center, we have a resource room, we have counselor, we have legal advocacy, we have a case manager, and we can provide resources to anyone who's trying to get out of a bad relationship where there's violence involved. And the earlier that intervention can happen, the earlier that someone can become aware that there are opportunities in the community for furthering their education, for finding housing, and so we want to be a resource in the community for people who know that they need to get out of a situation but don't know where to start. And instead of having to go from place to place, we can make sure that the agencies can be, that they can meet at the building if that's what the client needs, if that's
right.
So in some cases they don't need that, and but we can assess what the needs are and go from there. We have a wonderful facility that we were able to renovate very reasonably because of the generous donations. We've received such an overwhelming community support for this project. With a lot of volunteer material and time, we were able to renovate this building and make it a state-of-the-art building with great security and a beautiful children's play area that is monitored and safe. So we have plenty of. So it's a beautiful building, and we like people to come and see it when they can.
Okay. Well, talk to us a little bit about the Taste of Georgetown, Dick, since you are the man that is really getting this thing together. Last year it was the first annual was very successful. You had lots of people in attendance. You raised a fair amount of money. You had a beautiful day on your side, and you had lots of participation from the restaurants. So tell us how it's going to work this year.
It's going to work very similar to what we did last year. There will be a restaurant crawl format as we did before, except we have more restaurants this year. We've added another 4 restaurants to the mix, and some of those restaurants are from the Pawleys Island area, but most of the restaurants are from the Georgetown area. And what we're anticipating is that we had about 1,250 people last year. We're anticipating somewhere closer to 2,000 this year. Awesome. The purpose of the fundraiser is really to raise funds now for the operating expenses of the Family Justice Center. However, we all have a second purpose too, and that purpose is to increase the exposure of the community to the various culinary delights that are offered in the restaurants in the Georgetown area.
Wow, so tell us the date now. It's November?
The date is November 5th. It's last year was the first week of November. It's still the first week of November this year. And we're hoping for the same kind of beautiful weather that we had at that time.
It was gorgeous. And also now, how will the tickets work?
The way the tickets work is it's $1 for each ticket. If you get you pay $20, you get 23 tickets. And you usually have 2 or 3 tickets for each restaurant sample. This year we're going to do something a little different. We are going to have a band just like we had last year, but the band's going to be called Longitude and Friends. But in addition to that, we're going to use the Georgetown Middle School Band, which we think will attract many people.
Oh, that is awesome.
We've written an outstanding band.
Wonderful. So November the 5th. Saturday, November the 5th. And it's going to be all day?
No, it's going to be from 1 to 4 in the afternoon.
Get your tickets. And for let's give everybody contact information. 1530 High Market Street is where you all are located. I should have looked through the brochure already. 546-843-546-3926 is the telephone number. www.fjcgeorgetown.org. We want to see you there in November. Thank you.